Hello and welcome everyone to a Sacred Symbols reading. I'm your host, Desiree DeMars, and it is Sunday, October 16th, 2022. I'm just going to dive right in and invite you to join me in a short ceremony and invocation before the reading. So in this time, gather your awareness around a intention or an inquiry that you have, a question you would like answered. And if you're just following along, you can light a candle of your own, which I've already done. And I'm also going to make an offering of tobacco and other herbs and blue cornmeal. So get settled in and begin to become aware of your breath. And I like to blow my intention into my offering as I spread it across the cloth. And begin to create a sacred space for yourself. And as you take a few of these breaths in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, allow yourself to hold that inhale for just a couple more seconds. Really feel the expansion, because here you're activating your vagus nerve so that as you exhale, you're relaxing, releasing, clearing, grounding, all of that synchronistically, simply with the breath, and shifting into a higher level of frequency that now is allowing the heart and the brain to work in coherence with one another. And let's imagine together a brilliant white light coming down from the heavens and anchoring you all the way down to the center of the earth. And feel this connection to Pachamama, Divine Mother, the sacred feminine, this iron molten core, this vitality that is activated and expressed as health and well-being through us as we again come into coherence with this divine feminine, which in turn activates our red blood cells, our immune system, right? The iron in our blood, in our hemoglobin, and feel that activation then rising up as it gathers energy and flows through your central channel, spilling out over the top of your head like a fountain that is infinite and eternal, and activating all the chakras, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, white, back up to white, and feel that activation of your own toroidal field, knowing that it is connected to everything and everything is connected to you. And we are expanding now into our superconscious by imagining a golden orb above the head. I mean, this isn't essential, but it's a beautiful visualization of this golden light now coming down like a thread, a ribbon, or a ribbon right through your center, your connection to source directly. It's like plugging yourself in to that direct connection, that direct phone line, that direct communication channel, and feel that energy expanding to the right shoulder and the left shoulder, creating a sacred triangle of this golden light, the golden net, the Akash, the web of light, the Aka field, So this beautiful web of all the great mystery. And know that as we go through this short practice of awareness of our energy field, we are not only grounding, but we're expanding both up and out in every direction. And then feeling the sensations, the awareness as you begin to imagine a sacred space surrounding you as you receive this information today, and as you let your heart fill with this intention or this inquiry that you have, these questions that you're seeking answers to. And I know we just had a full moon, so just imagine now as this moon moves into the times of equinoxes, or not equinoxes, I'm sorry, into eclipses. This is eclipse season. So just feel yourself preparing, aligning, and open to receiving, allowing yourself to have the receptivity to any information that wants to come through these incredible downloads that are happening now in this time of moving deeper and deeper into an Aquarian age. And then acknowledging that all the chakras are open, fully functioning, front and back, balanced and aligned. And imagine again this sacred circle expanding outward, calling in all of the directions, the east, the south, the west, the north, above, below, and the middle. All of the elementals, come and be with us. Come and be with us as we sit in the sacred circle and ask for your assistance. Earth, air, fire, water, ether, plasma, neutrinos, gammas, and all those elements yet unknown to man. Come and be with us. Sit in the sacred circle with your wisdom, guidance, and understanding. And to all of our guides, angels, teachers, guardians, the magical and the mystical, the seen and the unseen, come and be with us. Come and be with us. The two-legged, the four-legged, the many-legged, the winged ones, the finned ones, and the creepy crawlers. Come and be with us. Come and be with us and sit beside our ancestors, all those who've gone before us, lived a good life and transcended, and are now here working on our behalf and on behalf of the collective that are intentionally raising their vibrational frequency to higher states of joy, joy, peace and strength, courage, gratitude, humility, and divine love. And to all those whose names we do not know, but whose blood runs through our veins, let us be a channel together as we co-create this experience of a sacred symbols reading. Come and be with us, all those who are guiding us at this time, bringing us wisdom, understanding, foresight for each step of the way. And this next step, as I said to a friend the other day who just sold her house, and she said, I said, congratulations, now you're, starting your next chapter. And she said, I have no idea what that means. And I said, well, sometimes we just have to follow the breadcrumbs. It's one step at a time. And that's all we can really do anyway. I mean, we can have this greater vision, and yet the action, the aligned action, is just the next step. It's that simple. So that is the intention here, to have this greater vision, to see what's happening for us in the future, and yet knowing in our hearts as a human in this 3D form, we just take one step closer toward that. So with all that said, just imagine now again the heart chakra open, aligning with the brain, expanding your awareness, and holding that intention in your heart, right? So that when we blow into the symbols, all of that awareness will flow through, and especially our ancestors, those who, not only surround us with the things we have that remind us of them, but we know are in this greater field, right? Across the veil, out on the land. I mean, this DNA through even the plants and the critters has all come full circle and come around again to connect with us, to co-create with us. So just imagine now you are co-creator sitting here in circle. And I'll rattle for a few seconds so that we can just deepen that theta and alpha state even further in alignment with the rattle. So forgive me if the sound disappears on the rattle. I notice I often have to reset that, but I try to set it so it doesn't noise cancel it out, but use your imagination. Imagine, or maybe you're rattling on your own. If you've got your own rattle, you can rattle as well as I. And then what I'd like to do is bear with me for a second while I share my screen. And I flip over to share the screen by, let's see, going to this overhead camera that I have here. And then let's see if I can expand that. There we go. I think that's pretty full, as full screen as it's going to get. And if you haven't seen a reading before, just know that I can move it around and hopefully capture as I'm talking exactly what I'm pointing at so you can see as well as I can. So now let's just imagine that we're together here and you're going to be blowing in the basket. So 3 times. Okay, so take a moment to just notice any patterns, any alignments here that catch your eye and call for extra attention. And for those of you that have been following or know something about sacred symbols and divination, the first image or object that I look for usually is this piece of coral. And it's very interesting. So it's like opening, this would be the feet facing you and the hands reaching out. And it is really saying, it's like calling in, if you, abundance, grandfather on your paternal side. Oh, both grandfathers. So interesting. We have the maternal and the paternal grandfather. And it's about somewhat, this little dagger shaped heart is about, cutting away what no longer serves. And this is rattle about calling in what it is you want, right? As far as the abundance, as far as how you feel, the emotions. This is the moon. And speaking your truth. So speaking your truth with and around your grandfathers, whether they're in spirit or in physical form. There may be some emotional connections here, or there may be something through that DNA that you share with these ancestors that are affecting you or playing out physically. And I would say in regards to that, this little turquoise heart here is all about soul retrieval or soul remembering, right? So there's something about remembering, yes, the ancestors, and moving forward, moving towards yourself, moving towards, this is horse, it's about movement and moving toward what it is that's in your heart, what it is you want to call in. In fact, here's talking stick. So, rattle and talking stick are similar in some ways, and that they're calling in something, and then they're also, like, talking stick is asking for attention and respect while speaking. And then the aspect of talking stick, the one that is holding the talking stick, is sitting in a place of honor and respect of speaking the truth, just what's here, right? The sword of truth. So speaking your truth around that, even if it's just to yourself, as you move through this evolutionary process that we're all in right now. Now, another thing that is close at hand here, we have the angelics, we have Buddha, we have, the heart, the Celtic knot inside the heart, which is like the soul, the sacred union with the self. And if you're feeling like you're at a crossroads, this is another dynamic that's here. I would really look at the mind, is this just, is it a mental gymnastics? Or is that where the realm of some kind of challenge is coming up for you? Because here's father, grandmother, maternal grandmother, and great ones, maternal grandmother and the great ones. And in fact, here's your mother right next to Eagle Condor, who's upside down. Very interesting, upside down. Now this little star just fell out. It was part of the offering. So interesting that it landed right here at the head of your mother and almost at the feet of Eagle Condor. So there's something about, this positioning on its side. I always find that curious. It's not standing on its feet. It's not upside down. It's kind of on its side, which reminds me of a saying about coins. Like, there's actually 3 sides to every coin: the front, the back, and the edge. And so I look at that like, what is it about that if we're standing on the edge, we're seeing both sides, we're kind of at this crossroads, what are we seeing and what are we taking away from both sides, right? And kind of assessing. And so that has to do something either, now when I say mother, we could be looking at the ancestors, the actual ancestors, your mother, or it could be the mother within you, another mother that you are connected to. But there's definitely something that's a little mysterious right now, and you're not able to really connect with about it fully. Something on the earth plane, kind of an earthly matter or an earthly subject, and there's something about like a little bit of fog around it. This is definitely, so calling in grandmother on your mother's side to work or co-create with mother and the great ones, the great great greats and the great great greats. In fact, it's like the entire lineage, your mother's entire lineage is here, because here's a young adult. So it's kind of like several generations, right? This is multi-generational. And there's something about it that's like there's a key that's needed to be understood, because there's something kind of held back, hidden. I think this, yeah, that's Neptune. Yeah, again, the fog, kind of like the fuzziness. Maybe there's a memory loss about certain things, or somebody doesn't remember something and you're trying to piece something together. But we do have, the ancient ones here on your father's side, the ancient ones, the men, the male on the paternal, your paternal ancient ones. There's kind of that masculine energy, and the father, here kind of balancing that out, right? And in fact, we have a bear claw, and the great mystery, and Saturn. So yeah, there's something kind of that needs to be unlocked, discovered, uncovered about the maternal ancestry, right? And the there is guidance and protection, I believe, from the paternal or your father's side too. In fact, the mother and father are very close here, right? And here are the ancient ones, the women, the female ancient ones on your maternal side, your mother's side. But there's something about with this act of clarification and moving through the fog to get that is that there's either it will result in passion, or what is needed is possibly, this heart fire or this passion to move forward, to expand, to understand more, to have a greater depth of understanding about something in the ancestral lineage, right? And it's interesting. I was going to say, when we're looking at the lock, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, I like to find out where the key is. And the key is, it's touching the planet Mercury, and it's right next to the dice with a number 1. And, so I would say the key is about creating something new, beginning something new, taking a step forward in a physical sense, in a really physical sense, taking action, and also speaking, right? Speaking what it is, communicate, or at least communicating, speaking, writing, somehow connecting with these ancestors, or even within yourself. Because if I were to say, we have, another in your life with the sacred, the sacred geometry of the Celtic knot here. Trying to get a good angle so you can actually see it. But it's, there is something about that it's within another. There's something that is key. So there's another person, could be a partner, could be a friend, a colleague. It doesn't really matter, just another. The other is there to bring a key piece in for you about this new beginning, and about this idea of communication, spreading the word. Maybe it's about networking, for example. That would be, a real life possibility of how to get something one step further into the universe, towards manifestation. Which I'll just say, today I was volunteering somewhere, and I just happened to talk to somebody, and in the course of the conversation, I had no idea she was on the board of this organization. And so the things I mentioned that how I would like to participate more within the organization, she was like, absolutely, Desiree, I'm on it. I would love to see this happen. So I'm bringing it to the board. So there you go. And she's been involved in the organization for many, many years. So something like that could even be a networking that something you least expected with communication can turn into something physical, right? Can manifest into something actually that you can taste, touch, feel, sense. And this is Venus, so something that you love, and this is your vision, and this is your work. It's more like your work in the world, your vision that you have for your life, that embodies the feminine, this kind of the healing of your feminine ancestry, right? Of your mother's ancestry, because it's like a rebirth. It's a time for a rebirth, and the sun is here to support us. This big copper coin here is about the sun, and the sun can not only mean the actual sun, but also astrologically it can represent kind of who we are in the world, right? How we show up, how we shine. And so this is here, and it's also pointing toward this idea that community is there for you. So communicating with or to community from a higher realm, crown chakra, and third eye. So taking this higher vision that you have, the bigger picture, bringing it down into this experience actually of rebirth. And it seems like a really good time to be focusing on this. Let me see. But here's a timekeeper, and there is another. I don't see it offhand. I know it's here somewhere. They often end up underneath. Oh no, there it is. I see it. Okay, and this is interesting. So one is up and one is down. And that usually tells me there's movement, right? It's kind of like a yin and a yang, up and down, black and white. Things are moving. There's a holo movement here, and it's about seeing with the third eye, right? Seeing with your inner eye and having clarity, another piece of clarity. So all of this inquiry, I would say, if you really look at your the maternal lineage and mother father patterns here, you may get some really brilliant clarity about what this next step, what this new chapter is all about for you, so that you can hold even a greater vision and then know in what direction, what steps you need to take to get to that, right? And definitely coming from a place, here is your star nations, you know, the star that you are, and all those that are connected. This is Deer Toe, and it's about, you know, the medicine of Deer Toe is the innocence, right? Coming from a place of innocence is key in understanding, in having more and more clarity, in knowing this passion in a deeper level, in a resonant level, in like a vibrational level, at the core of your being, the cells of your body, right? That's what this is all about. And that it's a sacred thing. It's sacred. It's something that you came in on a soul level, because I say sacred not like it's taboo or something, but that it is actually primal, right? It is essential. Another way of saying it is like it's a deal breaker. You know, it's something, or it has to do with something that is like of the essence in its importance to your life. And usually that which we have a passion for is definitely fits into that realm, you know, for us. All right. So this is you, me, us. We're facing down. So there's something, you know, definitely some kind of introspection happening here, something internal. And it's right next to, it's paralleling this piece of transfiguration. Transfiguration, like transforming ourselves at our true essence level, right? At our core, which is, this is third chakra, and this, I believe, is Pluto. Yeah. So it's like, you know, core, Plutonian, kind of all encompassing, no choice in the matter. It's happening. It's something that's unfolding, and you either go with the flow or you don't. And this is grandmother on your father's side, your paternal grandmother. So again, that deep, deep feminine wisdom really shining the light on you about your power, personally, and also in part of the collective, I would say, you know, because earlier I was pointing out that this all has something to do with community. So really connecting with community, which is here next to the sun. And I said it was really bringing in this kind of rebirth of the feminine and our soul's work, right? The soul's work. Yeah. On a Venusian level, like, what do you absolutely love? What is truth, beauty, passion for you? It might be art, it might be sewing, it might be hiking. It doesn't even matter what it is. It's just about what activates that soul's purpose in you. What creates almost this, like, every day it's something new. It feels new, right? Because of the passion that you have for it in your life. And that's what I was saying has something to do with community here. So taking time this week for reflection is essential for balance of mind. There is so much going on. Information overload. Here's the shaman, though, saying this would be good medicine, right? This week is taking time to reflect, being quiet, and it will help you get clarity about the, there we go. It'll help you. This is the shaman, and here is frog, which is about our collective evolution, right? Because something much bigger is happening, and what is happening, it has a lot to do with rebalancing, right? Restructuring. The four, creating new structure. And we have the great ones on your father's side here. The great ones are really here speaking to us today. And in fact, that's kind of this outer ring is what's being amplified. Things around your home, power animals. What did I say here? I said moon, your emotions, that watery kind of moon, and in fact, I think, what's also besides eclipses coming up, which often shake things up for many months to come, there's also this kind of, we're stepping into this time of more internalization, right? With fall coming in, that's what I was saying here, this thing about reflecting. So it's about going within and finding the internal guidance. And maybe sometimes what then will show up is this idea of no action. It's also an action, right? Just to be, just to ground yourself, just to get clarity about the next step, what it is you want to create. That seems to be key. And to then communicate that. And then that's like planting a seed and seeing how that's going to unfold as you take those next steps, as you take aligned action toward the vision that you have about your work in the world, your soul's work, the most divine feminine within you, right? This is the blueprint that's unfolding. And just remembering that a large part of it is, this is the eye of God. And it's like, I just love this piece. I mean, it really looks like an eye. You can look inside. It's, on some days it's so interesting when the sun is shining and it looks like purple in there. It's this beautiful, kind of looks like an eyeball. I just love it. But it's some kind of coral. And, but this eye of God, the idea of the greater mystery that's out there, that's the all-seeing, our own superconscious, but that, again, looking from maybe even the eye from within the heart, right? This deeper perspective. And again, just coming back around to this idea of what's really at the core is, what is key is kind of being, remaining in these higher frequencies. This is the angelic realms, and yet bringing them down to earth. This is earth. This is water. Being in touch with your emotions, what's coming up emotionally, because that there are steps along the path, there are pieces along the road, and that will be key to this kind of mysterious aspect of what's going on possibly for you in your life. This is one scenario of you're just needing another piece of information, right? And it seems to me like, here again, great mystery, but this idea of it's uncovering as you move through the fog. It's a little foggy now, and things are definitely chaotic through this transformation as the old is falling away. That's another thing about items being, or objects being on their sides, is kind of like, reminds me of the imagery in the tarot deck of like a hanged man, right? Where, it's not about death. It's not so much about death, but it's about allowing yourself to let go of ideas or beliefs that may not serve you at this point in time as you are moving forward in this evolutionary process, right? And so being on your side or being upside down is like, a symbolic of seeing things in a new perspective, a fresh perspective, or from a different lens, or through a different lens. So that is beautiful. So that's what's key. Focus on the next creation. Focus on what you want to see, be, do, have in the future. So when things get really crazy and you're just like, you can't believe what's going on, which is really common right now. you want to go back and focus on the vision, right? Focus on the dream and the work in the world that you're doing, the greater work. Somebody, an astrologer, a couple of weeks ago said something really beautiful about that. The way she phrased it was, you know, it can feel super frustrating for those of us on the spiritual path. And if we feel like we're, you know, part of what we're doing is of service to the greater collective, and yet it feels like it goes by without recognition or understanding. But remember, that is actually the true work of a pioneer, often, right? Or an inventor of sorts, a creator who has come up with something that is not yet created, right? Where is that little piece? Let's find that and see what insight. Yeah. In fact, the pointer is pointing that. So make a wish, move forward toward whatever it is, right? And keep moving forward, right? Because especially around things like this, these downloads or insights you may be getting now, allow them to come into the crown, into the third eye, and that which is not yet created, know that it is here. In essence, it just hasn't manifested yet in physical form. So it's part of a process. It's a greater process. And that clarity of mind, you might want to envision or call in your father for support with that, especially if he's crossed over, or you may want to ask him physically if he's still alive and well and you can communicate with him in person, or you may write him a letter, or you may write that person a letter and never send it, but it's the intention, right, to ask for clarity about something. And he may be the person actually who holds the key to some kind of transformational information, even about your mother's lineage. Sometimes the most powerful information doesn't come through necessarily the person we're addressing, you know, an issue with, but to someone outside that or within the realms of the ancestral lineage, because they have the perspective that we are seeking, or they may know the story about something from the past that will give us that aha moment. So with that, I'm going to end and just thank you all for joining me following week. And may it be a blessing for not only you, but to all those you come in contact with. In full faith, so be it. Aha. So, thank you.